Okay. So let's sit up. Sit up on something elevated, okay? Normally, you're going to be sitting the same way that we always sit. There's always one leg that likes to be on top of the other. So what I'm going to ask you to do is switch legs. Take the opposite leg on top, middle of the shins, cross. Bring the hands on the knees, and it'll feel a little awkward because you're not used to crossing your legs this way. And what I'd like you to do with your hands is just pull on the knees and lift the chest. So you'll use your hands to push towards the knees and feel the chest opening without overarching the low back. So keep the sitting bones pressing down, just lift the shoulders, lift the chest. Feel a lift in the heart. Take a few deep breaths here. Now keep your chest lifted, and let's begin with the mental centering. So even though we're going to let go with the hands, you want to keep that lift in the chest, hands alongside the ears, inhale. Exhale, gather in the mind. Palms together at the third eye, inhale here. And offer the mind to the heart. 2 more times, inhale. And exhale, gather in the mind. And come back to the heart. One more time. And then lift the heart, shoulders back and down. Slow the breathing down. And we'll join together for 1 home to begin. Inhale. Draw the chin to the heart. Lift the chin up, release the hands, and open the eyes slowly. Now what I'd like you to do is come forward on the hands and knees, and you're going to cross one leg in front of the other. So we're going to take the right leg in front of the left. So the knees are one in front of the other. I suggest you have a block behind you or a few blankets so you can sit up high. What we're doing is we're sitting on a block with one knee crossed on top of the other. Okay? The feet can be out to the side. So this is Gomukhasana legs. We're just going to open the hips here. Okay. So if it's hard to get back or sit back in this position, then you can pad it up even higher. And if that's still hard, then just take one leg on top like this. Okay. So you'll have your foot on the floor and the knee bent. Hold here a little bit more. Lift the chest, lift the heart. And then come forward and switch legs. You'll take the left leg in front of the right. So we're first bringing one knee in front of the other and then sit back as much as you can. We're going to need our straps in a second, so have your strap available. So knees crossed one on top of the other. Lift the chest, lift the heart. Try to get both sitting bones on the ground, and if that's not happening, that's okay. You can have your foot maybe on the floor, on the outside of the knee, and if that's still difficult, you can have the foot on the inside of the knee. But we want to start to move into adduction and internal rotation with the hips, okay? A few more deep breaths here. And then stretch the legs out in front for a moment. Dandasana, you can shake it out. Flex the toes, push out through the big toe mounds, push down through the fingertips and open the chest. Okay. Slow the breathing down. Focus on extending your exhale. And then come forward again, and let's go back to the first side. So right leg will cross over the left. So right leg is on top of the left, and we're gonna sit in this position. If it's not possible, you're struggling with this position, you can take one of the other options or even sit cross-legged. Now you're gonna take your left arm up and right arm behind the back, Golokhasana, full pose. Normally we just work on the arms in this class, but today I wanna work on the whole pose. So the knees are gonna stack one on top of the other. Roll the right shoulder back and down. And lift the left elbow up towards the sky. Take a few deep breaths. Inhale and exhale. Watch that your sitting bones are pressing firmly into the ground. So you're not overarching your back, rather keep your sitting bones pressing down, lift the belly, and roll the right shoulder back and start to open the chest. Take a few deep breaths here, relaxing the neck muscles. Okay, we're gonna take our time, we're gonna move slow, we're gonna work on deep opening and deep stretching today. And then release that side. And now switch legs. So left leg will come in front. Stack one knee on top of the other, sit back. And take the right arm up and left arm behind the back. So the right arm elevated, elbow towards the sky, biceps towards the ear, left arm rolls back and down. Keep the weight in the sitting bones, keep the belly lifted, and start to open the chest here. So we're opening the chest and the hips. Couple more breaths. Roll the left shoulder back and down. Lift the right elbow up towards the sky. And then release that. Okay. Take the legs out in front for Dandasana. If you're pretty open in the hamstrings, you can come off of your block and sit on the floor. But if the hamstrings are a little bit tight and the low back rounds at all, then you want to be elevated on a blanket or on a block. Press the center of the heels down, push out through the big toe mounds, and lift the chest. The legs are very active. Inner thighs are rolling down, sides of the waist long. If that feels okay on the low back, okay, and if you have any back pain today, then just keep your fingers on the floor. But if your back feels okay, take the arms up. Reach up through the fingertips. And roll the shoulders back and down. And lift through the pinky fingers. A few more deep breaths here. Release down. Relax for a moment. Notice how the legs want to roll out, the back wants to round, shoulders want to come forward, and then we'll go back. So we change the effort. We roll the inner thighs down. We don't let the legs roll out to the side. We lift the chest. Let's do the crown of the head. First, press the fingers down. That will help give you the lift. Then maintain that lift and then take the arms up. And as you reach up through the pinky fingers and move the upper trapezius, the neck muscles down the back. So relax the neck muscles, but lift the sides of the waist. Make the sides of the waist long. Good. And then release. Okay, come on out. We're gonna lie on our back. It's okay to have a blanket for your head here. You may need another blanket though. We'll need a blanket for the outside of the hip as well. So I'm gonna use my blanket for the hip, but if you need one for your head or a pillow for your head, you can use it. Lie on your back, Supta Parangusthasana. Let's take the strap and make a loop so that you can, if you have a strap, if you have a loop, so that you can get your hand in the loop and your shoulder down towards the floor, okay? So hopefully most of us have a yoga strap. If not, you can use both hands on a belt. So you're gonna pull the right shoulder down towards the floor. You wanna keep the elbows straight and have the strap right at the top of the heel. So you're pushing your heel up into the strap and you're pulling the weight down through the heel. So you should feel a descent of the head of the femur into the hip socket and then push out through the left inner heel, left big toe mount. Don't let the left foot roll out to the side. So there's this internal rotation of the left thigh. Okay, now come back to the breath. After you do all that, inhale and exhale. I want you to really engage the quads. You want to feel like you're pushing your quads or your femur bone away from the head. And the left inner thigh rolling down so that the quads are very active here. The more active your quads, the more or the safer the stretch it is for the hamstring. A couple more breaths. So holding for a little while longer. Shoulders down, breath even. Release that side. Switch legs, left leg up. Now you'll hold with the left hand. The arm will be straight, so make your strap or the loop as small as you need or as big as you need so your arm can be straight. And you're going to pull your left shoulder blade down towards the floor. So you're going to push through the right inner heel, push through the right big toe mound. Open the chest, keep the legs really strong. Right thigh, left thigh, heart open. Think about pulling down into the top of the heel so you feel the weight going through the shin bone, through the femur bone, down into the ground. This is good for building bone strength. It's great for osteoporosis. Open the chest, keep the quads engaged, left quads engaged and right quads engaged, but you're also rolling your right inner thigh down towards the floor. Right inner thigh down towards the floor. Open the chest. Now release that side. We'll go back to the first side. We're going to add an instruction. So we'll take the right leg up, same pose, Supta Paramukshasana. By the way, if you have back pain, just do this pose. If you had to choose one pose to do, this is a great one to do. It's really safe. You're lying on your back, and it tends to help back pain quite a bit. So now, I want you to switch hands. So take your left hand on the strap. The right hand you'll take in your hip crease. You'll make a C shape with your hand. Take your right hand in your hip crease, and I want you to push your hip away from your head. So creating some opening in the hip joint, moving the hip away from the head. And hold there. And breathe. Shoulders down, chest lifts. So you want to feel a sense of this right outer hip moving away from the head, okay, towards the foot of your mat. So you're tractioning your hip and your low back. And then switch legs. Left leg comes up. We're going to work our way into some deep hip opening. You'll have the right hand hold the straps. So you can take your left hand on the inside of your hip crease. You can see that my fingers are pointing away from my head, and I'm moving my hip away from my head, and also the outer hip is moving towards the foot of the mat, sort of like this action. So open that left side of the waist, keep the legs straight, engage the quads, and don't forget about your bottom leg, right? You're pushing through the right heel, right big toe mound, right inner thigh down towards the floor, chest open. Really get into that hip crease. It's a small movement, but it makes a big difference. And then release that side. Take the right leg up again. Now hold the strap in the left hand. Right hand will come in the hip crease. Okay, now we're going to bring the leg across the body just a little bit so the heel is in line with the left shoulder. Okay. Shoulder down towards the floor. Energize the legs. Open the chest. And hold there. You should start to feel the stretch move from the back of the leg to the side. Maybe you'll feel it in the hamstring more, but some of us will feel it in the side of the leg. You're going to hold here. Keep pushing the hip away from the head. And then bring the leg back up. Release. And take the left leg up. Left leg up. Hold the strap in the right hand. Left hand in the hip crease. Okay, find Supta Padangusthasana, and then we move across the body. So now my left heel is in line with my right shoulder. Pushing the left hip away from the head, opening the chest. The right leg is very active. I look at my right foot, I make sure, oh, is it turning out? So I want to adjust it, right? We don't always know what we're doing. With the left hand, you're still moving that left hip away from the head. That's where you get the nice opening in the outer hips. And then come up and release. We're going to go a little further with this one. So now take your strap again on the right leg. The left hand will hold the strap. Right arm will come out to the side. So you want your right arm reaching out in line with your shoulder. Push out through the left heel. And now we're going to bring the leg even further across the body. So you can let your right hip come up, but I want you to reach as much as you can through the right fingertips and start to open the right side of the leg. Okay, try to keep your right shoulder on the ground. Legs are active. It's okay for your left foot to roll out to the side now. Okay, push through the heels though. Keep the legs engaged. Open the chest. Couple more breaths here. And then come up slowly. And switch sides. Left leg. This is also a great practice for the knees. So low back and knees. Okay. Inhale. You can push the left hip away from the head, get some nice opening there. And then we'll bring the leg across and reach out through the left fingertips. So it's okay to let the right foot roll out a little bit, but try to keep your left shoulder on the ground. And push through the heels, push through the heels, open the chest. You might feel a difference from one side to the other. You feel a lot more stretch on the outer hip, and this is where sometimes I tend to get some pain. So reach, reach, reach. Open the chest. And then come up. Okay, we're going to do something before we move on to the next one. You're going to take your right leg over the left like we did in the beginning in Gomukhasana legs. So one knee is going to stack on top of the other. You're going to hug your knees in towards the chest and hold there. If that's easy, if you don't feel a lot of stretch, you can reach for your ankles and pull your ankles apart. So you'll notice these legs are like Gomukhasana legs, like we did in the beginning. So bring your knees towards the chest. Take a few deep breaths. And start to feel the stretch in the right outer hip. And if you still don't feel a lot, you can move your knees a little bit to the left side. Okay, so you're bringing the knees down, you're pulling the ankles apart, and then you can move your knees across. We're going to hold here for a little bit longer. We want to get into the tissue. So come back to your breath. Inhale and exhale. And then switch sides. Take the left leg over the right. First part is to hug the knees in. Make sure the knees are stacked one on top of the other. And then hold the ankles. Pull the ankles apart. And then bring the knees towards the chest. Knees towards the chest. And open the left outer hip. So your mind should be in this area here, this left outer hip. More deep breaths here, letting go of any tension in that area. Good, and then release that. Okay. So what we're going to do the next pose a couple different ways. The first way is to have a blanket. I'll start with my left leg so you can see it better. So you have the blanket on the outside of your left leg. It's not underneath the buttocks, it's just under the flesh of the buttocks. So this will support the hip a little bit because we want to keep our pelvis level. You'll take the left leg up, right hand on the right hip. Inhale, and as you exhale, you'll start to go out to the side, but don't let the hips tip over. So you want to keep the right outer hip pressing down into the ground, and then open the leg out to the side. Now here, look at your foot. Make sure that the foot doesn't turn this way down. You want to keep the outer edge of the foot parallel to the floor, and then move your right thigh bone away from your head. You want to keep it moving away from the head so that there's space and traction in the hip. Again, the right hip, right outer hip is going down towards the floor, push out through the heel, open the chest, shoulders back and in. You should feel a nice stretch through the inner thigh. The more you contract your quads, the more opening you'll get. Keep your foot engaged. Now on the next exhale, draw the belly towards the spine and use your stomach muscles to bring your leg back up. Okay, now switch sides. So we'll move the blanket over to the right side. Right outer hip. The right leg will go up. You can hold the strap, maybe you can go a little higher. Make sure your outer hip is supported, left hand on the left ASIS, so this left frontal hip bone. You're supporting it and you're moving the pelvis out and down. That way we're opening the front of the hips. Don't let the hips tip over to the side. So as you open, you're still pressing this hip down towards the floor. Again, look at your foot. Make sure the outer edge of the foot is parallel to the floor. Engage the quads. Shoulders back and in. Open the chest and breathe. Say good morning to your hips. We're going to open them in every possible direction today. Now, on the next exhalation, draw the belly back towards the spine. And using the leg strength, come up slowly. Okay, and release. So I'm going to show you another option. This one uses the wall. So either, if you don't have a wall available to you, you'll do the same thing that we just did. Okay, so we'll do that one again. I'm going to start with my left leg because that's where I started. And what I want to do is I want to bring my leg to the wall. So you'll scoot over so that your foot pushes into a wall, or a chair, or a couch, or something. And what's nice is it's supported here, so it's easier to keep your pelvis level. And the other nice thing is you can adjust how far you go. So if I want more of a stretch, I move my body closer to the wall. If I want less, I move my body away from the wall. Okay, so you want to find a place where your outer edge of the foot is parallel to the floor, and you're going to push your foot into a wall. So I see you're reorganizing, which is good. And we're going to be here for a while because we're supported. So we can hold here a little bit longer. This is a great one to practice on your own to increase your flexibility because you're supported. And you're going to push the left quads. Open the left hip. And push your foot into the wall. With the right leg, you're still active. So you're still pushing through that right big toe mound. And as you exhale, you can draw your belly back towards your spine and in and up. Okay, we'll hold here a little bit longer. Inhale and exhale. Push the left foot into the wall, push out through the right foot, hold a little longer. We're supported, so we can go a little deeper into the adductors. Good, release that side, and then you'll have to turn around and bring your right foot against the wall. Okay, so you can adjust the position. You can get closer to the wall or further away. You want to have the foot again parallel to the floor, so the outer edge is parallel to the floor. You're not externally rotated, you're in a neutral position. And then push the foot into the wall. And with the left leg, you're also reaching through the big toe mound. Okay, if you don't have a wall that's available, you should just do what we did before with the strap, that's fine too. And as you exhale, you can draw the belly in and up. Push the right foot into the wall, lift the belly in and up. Open the chest. And you hold here for a little longer than usual, maybe 1 or 2 minutes. This is also a good pose to prepare for Trikonasana, for Ardha Chandrasana, for all the standing poses, which we're going to get into. And then we'll release that side. Okay. So next I'm coming to internal rotation. I'll also start with my left leg because it's closer to the screen. So you're going to walk your leg a little bit off to the side and drop your knee towards the floor. What we want to look at is to make sure that the thigh is parallel to the spine. And the shin bone is exactly at a 90-degree angle. So it's like the letter L. Press the right ankle over the left knee. Okay, and let the hip come up. It's fine to let the hip come up a bit, but hands are going to be on the lower belly. Okay, so what we want to imagine and visualize here is this left femur bone is moving towards the knee, away from the head. And at the same time, you're drawing the lower belly up towards your chin. So there's this energy of moving the thigh bone away and the belly lifting up. So with every exhale, lift the belly, flex your left foot, press it into the ground, protects your knee. Stay here. If there's any knee pain, I'll demonstrate what you should do. You can have a block and you can place the block under the knee. Okay, so that can give your knee support. And you can also have your foot on the floor, so you're not crossing your leg over, your foot's on the floor. So that's if there's any sensitivity in the inner knee. Otherwise, you're here. Now take your left arm up and hold your left wrist with your right hand and stretch through the left fingertips. Inhale, exhale, stretch through the left fingertips, lift the belly. Stretch to the left side of the body. You're getting into the psoas. And try to bring your ribs down towards the floor. A couple more breaths here. And then release. You're going to switch sides. So remember, if there's any discomfort in the knee, definitely support your knee. Walk your right leg over to the side. Thigh bone in line with the torso, shin bone 90-degree angle, left ankle over, and hold here. Hands on the lower belly. Inhale, relax the belly. Exhale, draw the belly in, back, and up. In, back, and up. Inhale, relax the belly. Exhale, draw the belly in and up. Inhale. And exhale. Now you can take your right arm overhead, hold the wrist with your left hand, and stretch the right side of the body. Inhale. Exhale, draw the belly in and up. So we're lengthening the top part of the psoas and also the bottom part. This will release pressure on your spine and your low back and your discs. And then we release that. Hug the knees into the chest for a moment. Just rock a little bit side to side. Massage your back muscles. And now we're going to come into external rotation. I like to use a block for this one. I'll show you how it works. You're going to cross your left ankle over your right knee, and you're opening your legs out to the side. So I like to put a block under my right thigh, so the right thigh is supported. I'm a little bit tight in this one. And The foot is over the knee, the shin bones are stacked one on top of the other, and you're moving your thigh bones out and down towards the floor. Okay, hands on the belly here. Now, if your knee is very high, it's not dropping down, you're not feeling a good stretch, or if there's any pain, then just straighten the right leg and keep the left leg bent. Okay, so this is another option. So either the bottom leg is straight or it's bent, supported on a block, hands on the belly, inhale. And what we're trying to do is focus on external rotation. So working on opening the hips in the opposite direction. And every time you exhale, you're drawing your navel in and back and up towards the spine. If that feels comfortable, you can hook your thumbs and take your fingertips overhead and go into a bit of a stretch with the whole upper body. Watch that you're not overarching your back. Bring the lower ribs down. It's natural to have a curve in your back, okay? You don't want your back touching the floor, but you don't want to be lifting your back. So there's a balance between overarching and having a natural curve. Okay, let's release that side and take the second side. So I'm going to move the block on the outside of the left thigh and cross the right ankle over. And then I'm going to hook my thumbs the opposite direction if my arms come overhead. Flex the feet and roll the right thigh out and down. Right thigh out and down. Roll the thigh bone out and down. Think about the movement coming from the hips, not from the knee. So you don't want to push the knees down, you want to rotate the hips open. Draw the belly in and back and up. Reach the fingertips overhead. Good. And then release that. Okay. Now we're going to roll to the side and come up. Ekapada Supta Virasana. So I'm going to start with my left leg so you can see it better again. Here, you want to sit on your block. The left leg will come in Virasana. So the heel is going to be just on the outside of your hip and toes pointing back. The right leg will come forward. So this is not so easy for a lot of us. We might need to sit up higher, okay? So you can sit on 2 blocks. You can even put a blanket on top of your block like this and make it a little bit higher, okay? So whatever is necessary. And if none of these are working, then I want you to come into a lunge position, okay? So just a general lunge. So hopefully you're here. Ekapada Supta Virasana, and the arms come back here. Now lift your hips up off the block for a moment and move your tailbone away from your head. So you're moving into a posterior pelvic tilt. So you should feel a nice stretch to the front of the hips, and then keep that tilt in the pelvis and bring your hips back down. So now you should feel much more opening in the quads. Push the left inner knee down towards the floor. Open the chest. Push the right foot down into the down. Take a few deep breaths. Every time you exhale, you're moving your thigh bone towards your knee and lifting your belly towards your chin. Now, for some of us, this will be very easy. If it is, you can take your block out and you can come onto your elbows here. Don't let the knee go out to the side, so keep the knee moving towards the opposite heel. And if that's easy, then you can lie on your back. But again, you only do what you're able to do. Okay, so the most important thing is that you feel a nice stretch through the front of the thigh. So you can hold wherever it is that you get the best stretch. On the block, off the block, lying on your back, doesn't matter. Promise you it doesn't make you a better person if you can lie down. We just want to respect where the body is. A little bit longer here, getting into the front of the thighs. You need to hold longer if you want to get into stretching fascia and connective tissue. Let's come up slowly, and we'll start again on the block. So now the right leg will be behind. Sitting on the block, left leg in front, so you can see it from here. My heel is just on the outside of my right hip. Okay, the toes should be pointing back. I like to spread my toes here and really press all 5 toes down into the ground, and then reach back. So this is the first part. This is the setup. If this bothers your knee, come into a supported lunge. Lift the hips up, move the tailbone away from the head. And then keeping the pelvis in a posterior tilt. So you're tipping the pelvis this way, okay? Now you should feel a lot more stretch in the quads. You hold here. Keep the chest lifted, but relax the chin. More breaths. Now, if you can, you'll come off of your block. Come onto the elbows. The right knee should move towards the left ankle. Okay, don't let the knee go out to the side. And if your knee pops up in the air, then you've gone too far. And you need to back up. Okay, come back on the block. And again, if this is possible, you can lie on your back, push the right knee down into the ground, hold the elbows, and reach the arms overhead. Okay, but not many people can do this. This is pretty challenging, and there should be no pain in the knee. No pain in the knee. And the knee should touch the floor. A few more breaths here, wherever you are. I'm going to come up a little bit so I can really get that knee to glue down into the ground. Okay. And then let's come up slowly. We're going to come into forward virasana. The knees are going to spread wide. Toes touch. And then walk your fingertips forward. And here we're doing the opposite movement. We're folding at the hips. So we're really melting forward. Reach through the fingertips, relax the forehead, open the chest. Spread the shoulder blades wide. And then from here, we're going to come into downward facing dog with the knees a little bit bent. So curl the toes underneath, knees slightly soft, and then lift the hips up. Now we're bending the knees so it's a little easier on the hamstrings, but you can slowly start to straighten the legs without changing anything in the spine. We want to maintain a nice straight spine, and then maybe bend the right knee and press the left heel down, and alternate. Bend the left knee and press the right heel down. So we're getting the backs of the shins and the calves to open. And then walk the feet forward. Take the arms by the side, come up slowly. Take your chair. If you have a chair, you can use a couch as well. We're going to take downward dog again, but with the chair. So our hands are going to come on something elevated. And when we do this, we can get our heels to press firmly into the ground. So I want you to keep your feet spread wide and push the heels, okay, the backs of the legs down into the ground. Lift the sides of the waist up. The sides of the waist are lifting up towards the sky, but my heel is pressing down. And I want you to take the tops of the thighs back. So really lift your knees and take the tops of the thighs back. You really feel contact with the earth. And now we're going to get into the hamstrings. More breaths. Come up slowly. Okay. Right leg will come forward, left leg will go back. Fingertips on the chair. Okay, so fingertips are on the chair. You're going to draw the shoulders back and take the heart forward. So everything we're doing today is great for back health, and great for knee health. Also, it's a nice grounding practice and good for slowing down and working with feeling anxious or ungrounded or a bit all over the place. So you want to feel your feet pressing firmly into the ground, draw the shoulders back, chest open. Chest open, heart forward. Shoulder blades back. Now lift your toes, lift your right toes up off the ground. So all 5 toes are up, but you're going to push your big toe mound down into the ground. So the big toe mound will press down, and at the same time, draw the right outer hip back. So you're doing 2 things. You're pushing your big toe mound down, and you're drawing your right hip back. And then take the chest open and see if it feels different behind the right leg. Okay, relax that side. Take the left leg forward. Let's do the other side. So left leg is forward, right leg is back. The toes are going to turn out slightly. Square the hips, okay? Fingertips are elevated so we can really work the hamstrings. So we're not forcing into the pose by trying to touch the ground. Roll the shoulders back, take the heart forward, lift the toes up, especially the big toe. And then you're going to push your left big toe mound, which means you're pushing the inner foot down into the ground. And at the same time, draw the left outer hip back. So the left big toe mound goes down, the left outer hip goes back, and then move the chest forward. Open the chest. Open the chest. Now release that. Come back up and go again to the right leg. We're going to bring the right leg forward, left leg back. So starting off the same way, hands should be roughly under the shoulders. The toes are up. So you're activating your feet, pushing your right big toe mound down. That means you're also going to activate your quads. So you're lifting your quads, draw the right hip back, left hip forward. Fingertips on the chair, draw the shoulders back, take the chest forward. Now, do all of the same actions, but relax the toes. So don't let the toes go down, let them spread, but you're still pushing that big toe mound into the ground. You're still lifting your quads, you're still drawing the right hip back, and open the chest. Soft, smooth, even breaths. So there's a lot of things to think about, a lot of places to put your awareness, your mind. And then relax the right knee and left leg forward, right leg back. Lift the toes. Push the left big toe mound into the ground and push the right outer heel down. So you're always grounding that back foot. Chest open, heart open, lift the toes. So we do that to engage the legs more. Okay, but once you engage the thighs, see if you can relax the toes. We don't want to keep the toes tense. Relax the face, open the heart, draw the left hip back, right hip forward, and breathe. Lots of work here. Good. And then release that side. Okay. Come on up. We're going to take a variation, or a few variations of Virabhadrasana 1. So the first one will be with the foot up on a chair. Okay. Right leg will come up on a chair, left leg will come back, left toes turn out, and hands on the waist. So this is a little bit of an easier variation. It's a nice way to get into the hip flexors on the left side. So you're going to push your left heel down, push the right knee forward, open the chest. Okay, here you want to definitely draw the lower belly up, pubic bone moves towards the navel, tailbone moves down towards the floor. But keep the buttocks relaxed. So there's a lift in the belly, but the buttocks is relaxed. Open the chest. Open the chest. Watch that you're not overarching your back or you're not leaning your body forward. You want to keep your body stable and push your back heel down. So you should feel a nice opening through the left inner thigh. Push the back heel down, reach up through the fingertips, open the chest, lift the belly. And then release the arms down. And take the left leg up. Turn the right toes out. Shift the hips forward. Push the right outer heel down, lift the belly, zip it up. So here in this pose, there is a nice little curve in the spine. Okay, there's a mini back bend, but you don't want to overarch your back. So there's a delicate balance between the two. Drop the tailbone, lift the belly, keep the buttocks soft, and then take the arms up. So come forward, reach to the fingertips. Push the right heel down into the ground. Open the chest. Reach out through the fingertips. Belly in and up. Feel the opening through the front of the right hip, the hip flexors. Good. And then release that. We're going to do this one more time. I'm going to add another instruction. Okay, so the right leg will come up on the chair. Left leg will go back. Hands on the waist. Shift the hips forward. Okay, chest open. And now what I'd like you to do is focus on all of those things, but we're going to add one piece. You're going to roll your left inner thigh back. So it's as if the skin of the left inner thigh is going back behind you. Okay, push the heel down, come up, lift the belly, drop the tailbone, open the chest, and then really focus on pushing your back heel down and rolling the inner thigh back. It's a very subtle movement, but it's what will get the hips to square a little bit more and open the front of the hips on the left side. So feel that inner rotation of the left thigh. Release that. Left leg up, same thing. So the right outer foot, the right back foot, sorry, is rotated out a little bit. Bend the knee. Bend the knee. Come down, feel the opening in front of the right hip. That's our focus today, getting into the psoas and all of the hip movements. So your back is going to feel amazing. Reach to the fingertips, push the right outer heel down, lift the belly, reach to the fingertips. And now feel the internal rotation of the right inner thigh. The right inner thigh is going back. Reach to the fingertips, open the chest, inner thigh goes back, lift the heart. Soften the breath, soften the forehead, and then release that. Okay, let's take the hands on the chair, downward dog. Take your legs wider than your hips. Toes are going to turn in slightly, and the heels out. So I want you to lengthen the sides of the waist. And here, it's really about going in the opposite direction. So you want to take the tops of the thighs back. Thighs back. Open the chest. And then come forward. Okay. So we'll move the chair off to the side. You're going to take your blanket. And we're going to use the wall again. So if you don't have a wall, you're going to do a lunge position with your knee on the floor, okay, and chest open. You can also reach for your ankle here. That's another option. We're going to bring our foot up the wall. So the left foot will come up the wall. The knee as close as you can get it to the wall without pain, okay? And then hands on the thigh. So make sure you have padding. We don't want to have any pain in the knee. And if you have knee problems, it's okay to do a lunge with the knee elevated. You can also do an elevated lunge. So push the right foot down into the ground. And here it's the same action. You want to draw or lift the pubic bone up and move the tailbone down towards the floor. And this happens on the exhale. So as you inhale, you relax. It might soften the stretch in front of the left hip. But then as you exhale, you're going to draw the lower belly up. Move the tailbone down. And you'll feel a lot more opening through the front of the hip. Some of us might feel it more in the quads. That's okay too. Now if that feels okay, no back pain here. You can reach the arms up. If the back hurts in this position, it's just a message or a sign that you need to open the front of the hips. So the quads and the psoas both impact compression in the spine. And we don't always think about the front of the body when we're working with back pain, but it's really important. So we're going to hold here a little longer. If this is too much on the neck and shoulders, just have your hands on your waist. That's another option. And then you'll come out slowly and switch sides. Right leg up the wall, left leg forward. This is a tough one. Okay, so if it's easy, you start to get closer to the wall. If it's difficult, you move your knee away from the wall. There's a little arch in the low back, but not a big arch. So your body should not be coming forward. You need to keep your body back in line with your pelvis. Okay? Then draw the belly in and up, tailbone down. Make the tailbone heavy, lift the belly. And that might be enough. You might just stay here. Take a few deep breaths. If that feels okay, we can take the arms up and lift the upper part of the psoas. But draw the lower ribs back into the body. Lift the belly. Reach through the fingertips. Every time you exhale, remember to engage the stomach muscles, make the tailbone heavy. You want to hold a little while longer to get into the front of the hips and all of the tissue there. And then release that. And from here, come right into forward virasana. So we're going to bend the knees, going into the opposite movement, so hip flexion now. And you're going to walk the hands forward, stretch through the fingertips, and soften the hips. And feel the hips deepening. You're deepening your groins. You're taking your hands forward, relaxing the head down. And hold, and breathe. As you breathe here, you want to feel that your belly is relaxing towards the floor. Stay there. And as you exhale, see if you can feel yourself pulling the lower belly towards the spine. So you can just feel the natural breathing. Inhale, the belly softens, and exhaling, the belly moves away from the floor towards the spine. Here we can add a little side stretch. So you're going to walk your hands to the left hand on top of the right. And sit back on the left heel and get a side stretch to the left side of the waist. Then walk the hands to the other side, to the left side, right hand on top of the left, and stretch the right side. And come up slow. Okay, so we're doing a couple more variations of warrior one. You're going to have your back heel up the wall, back heel up the wall, and if you don't have a wall, then your heel will just be in the air. So heel is up the wall, right leg comes forward, hands on the waist, and come down into a lunge position. And we're going to keep our hands on the waist for now. So we're going to work on breath and movement into this position. So the idea is to get that front thighs parallel to the floor as you can. Bend the back knee slightly so you can do that. So notice that when you bend your back knee and lift the belly, you can get a little bit lower. Okay, so inhale here. And as you exhale, you'll push your heel into the wall and take your left thigh up towards the sky. And then inhale, relax it a little, bend the knee, and exhale, straighten it. Try not to let your body come up, so stay low. Inhale, bend. Exhale, straighten. Inhale, bend. Exhale, straighten. Inhale, bend. Exhale, straighten. And switch sides. Left leg comes forward, right leg goes back. So 5 repetitions. So we're staying low. We're working with the breath. Bend the back knee. That'll give you a little space. So come down a little bit lower, hands on the waist. Bend the knee, inhale, and exhale, straighten the knee, but nothing changes. Your body doesn't come up and your body doesn't come forward. Keep everything in one line. So bend the knee and straighten, exhale. Bend and straighten. 2 more. One more. And then release. It's a lot of work on the legs. Good. Take a half downward dog. So your hands are going to come on the wall. Feet under the hips. And just give yourself a little break here. Softening the groins. You may notice that it feels really nice or easier in the low back. And the knees, walk the feet forward towards the wall. Come up. And we're going to go back and do it again. But this time we're going to do it with our hands up. So again, you're welcome to have your hands on your waist. Right leg forward, left heel up the wall. We're making our way through Virabhadrasana 1 variation. Bend the back knee, chest open. Inhale. Exhale, straighten the back leg. Inhale, bend the knee. Now, if you'd like, take the arms up. 2. We'll do 5. Inhale, release. Exhale, straighten. Nothing changes. 2 more. 1 more. And then release and switch sides. Left leg forward, right leg back, heel up the wall. Down. So you choose the variation. Your hands can be on your waist, your arms up. Inhale. Exhale, straighten. Inhale, bend. 2. 3. 4. And 1 more. 5. Release, move forward. And again, half downward dog. I'll give you another option. You can also take a block or a blanket between the legs and squeeze it as we do the half down dog. So hands press against the wall. You can squeeze a block and roll the inner thighs back. Good. And then come out. Okay. So now we're going to take our blanket or a towel, anything at all, to elevate the back heel. You're going to place it against the wall. And then your back heel will come on the blanket. So now we want our back heel elevated. And our toes are turned out slightly. And then take your right leg forward, hands on the waist. And we're going to keep the leg straight, the right leg straight for now. Okay, so I want you to prepare. I'm going to roll the shoulders back, keep the chest lifted. And now the focus is to press your back outer heel down into the blanket. And at the same time, like we did earlier in the class, we're going to roll the left inner thigh back, lift the chest, open the heart. And here you might just feel a nice stretch as well. If that feels okay, take the arms up. And then bend the front knee, but only as far as you can go, keeping your back leg straight and rolling the inner thigh up towards the sky. Lots of emphasis on the back heel staying grounded. Lift in the chest, lift through the fingertips, lift in the belly. Back heel is elevated, but you're pushing it down into the blanket. And then release that side and switch. If this doesn't feel good, you can do the same position with the heel elevated in the air. Okay, right heel on the blanket. Goes to the side, left leg forward. Hands on the waist. Push the right outer heel down into the ground. Now straighten the left leg. Keep the left leg straight. want you to really feel that downward pressure through the back outer heel. And at the same time, your leg is straight. You're gonna roll the inner thigh back. Take the arms up, inhale, and exhale, keeping that right leg straight and the right inner thigh rotating backwards. So there's an internal rotation of the upper thigh. Then the left leg, reach up through the fingertips and lift the belly. Take a few more breaths here. Now try to keep the breath calm and smooth. I know we're working hard. Soften the breath. Push the back heel down, open the chest, Virabhadrasana 1, and then release that. And come out. Okay, so we're going to take Prasarita Padottanasana, standing separate leg stretching. So you can take your legs wide. And your feet should be a little bit turned in, but you want to watch that you don't collapse on the inner arch. If you have a block, you can place a block in front of you at any height, okay, whatever height you need. And hands are going to come on the waist. So keep the legs strong, really push through the inner heel and the outer heel. And then lift up the thighs. You want to feel like you're drawing your inner arch up the inner thighs. The arch is lifting. You're lifting through the inner thighs, lifting through the chest. And then without collapsing or falling down, it's like you're lifting up and over something. Imagine you have a bar here, okay? And you're going up and over the bar. We're going to lengthen the spine, no collapsing, and bring the hands onto a block or chair even will work so that the hips stay nice and open, spacious, and we're opening the chest here. Draw the shoulders back. Push the inner heels and outer heels down into the ground. And take the heart forward. A few more breaths. So the work is really in engaging the thighs, lifting the arches, lifting through the inner thighs, and taking the heart forward, crown of the head forward. And then reach the hands on the waist. See if you can come up with a straight spine. And then we're going to come down again. Lengthen, lift up. Bring the fingertips down in front of you. And if it feels that you can go a little further, you're going to walk your hands back. So you're walking your hands back. The elbows are pointing behind you. You're squeezing your elbows towards each other. And you'll start to bring the crown of the head towards the floor or even onto a block, okay? So you can rest the crown of the head onto the block as you squeeze your elbows in, like you're hugging a ball between your elbows, and move your shoulder blades away from your ears. Most of the weight now should rest towards the front of the foot. So you don't want to sit back on the heels, but you want to put some weight in the front of the feet. Move the shoulder blades away from the ears, squeeze the elbows in, and take a few breaths here. Lengthen the spine, lift the chest, walk forward. Now heel toe the feet in slightly, bend the knees a little bit, and come up with a flat spine, straight spine. Okay. Let's come back onto our back. You can take a blanket for your head. And what we're going to do is take your strap. You want to have a strap that's nice and long if possible here. We're going to come into a back release, but it's similar to what we just did. Prasarita legs. Okay. So you're going to lie on your back. The strap will come on top of the feet. So we'll first start with the strap just above the heels and both legs straight up. Okay, if you have back pain, if your hamstrings are pretty tight, it's okay to bend the knees. Keep your buttocks and your sacrum pressing into the ground. Okay, so legs straight. And shoulders back. So this is similar to Dandasana that we did at the beginning of class, right? Same position. And now we're going to take the legs open. So we're going to open them out to the side. And you can hold your strap here. So you can pull down on your strap and lift the chest and open the heart. And push your heels up into the strap. The whole time, you don't want to let your hips come off the ground. You want to make your low back long. Move your tailbone away from the head. Arms are straight, chest open, and push up and hold. Should feel nice. It should feel nice on the low back. Okay, if the hamstrings are tight, it's difficult, just bend the knees slightly as long as you feel a stretch in the back. Let's bring the legs back together. Hug the knees into the chest. And as you hug the knees into the chest, keep your tailbone on the ground. It's like you're moving your tailbone away from your head. You want to make the spine long, the low back long. Soften the groins, keep the groins very soft. And then place your left foot on the ground and the right ankle over the left knee. And we'll reach behind the left thigh, pull the left thigh in, and push the right thigh away for your form of stretch. Okay, so you're pulling the left thigh in, pushing the right thigh away, and we're going to get into the buttocks. Open the chest. Open the heart. And hold here. Keep your feet, especially the right foot, flexed, so you're protecting your knee. And the more you pull the left thigh in, the more you're pushing the right thigh away. That's how we're going to get into the piriformis. And this is the muscle that crosses over the sciatic nerve. Okay. And now let's switch sides. Right leg on the ground, the left ankle crosses over the right knee. Hold behind the right thigh, pull the right thigh in, push the left thigh away. You really want to feel the opening through the back of the left hip. Pull the right thigh in, push the left thigh away. And you can start to feel the opening get deep in the buttock, deep in the hip area. That's where I want you to invite your breath. So inhale. And try to exhale, releasing tension through the hips, through the buttocks. A little bit longer so you can really get into the piriformis. Good. And then let's release that side. I'm going to have you take your feet a little bit wider than the mat. We're going to just do some windshield wipers. So you're going to bring both your knees to the right and back up, and both the knees to the left and back up. Okay, so start with some slow movement, side to side. So both knees are going in the same direction. And then we'll add the breath. So you're going to inhale, knees up, exhale to the left. Inhale, knees up, exhale to the right. Inhale up, exhale left. Side to side, inhaling center, exhale to the side. You let your buttocks come up. This is also a stretch for the lumbar spine. A few more repetitions here. Okay. And now we are going to come into Shavasana, but you're a little to the side. If you have a chair, I'd like you to use the chair today, because we worked a lot on opening the hips, and especially the psoas. So in Shavasana, we want to be in a position that allows for complete rest of this muscle. So no stretch at all. So have a chair. If you have a hard chair, you can put a blanket on top for your shins. Have something under your head for support. Okay, we don't want the chin going back, chin down towards the chest. And our focus is really on relaxing the hip flexors and softening the grunt. So you want your whole shin supported on a chair or the couch. You can take your hands in your hip crease. Relax the head. Chest open. And just with your hands in your hip crease, see if you can soften this area a little bit more. We tend to hold a lot of tension in the hips, and it's not intentional. It's often just natural, we just do it. So see if you can focus on bringing some awareness into that area and letting go a little bit more. So you want to soften the groins. Once you feel like the groins are soft, you can take your hands by your side. Pull the chest open, chin slightly towards the chest, and then release. Release the weight of the legs. Make the legs heavy. There's no more effort. The muscles can relax completely in this position. We need to be here for about 5 minutes to get a really deep relaxation in the hip flexors so that our low back can be nice and spacious. So with every exhale, letting go a little bit more. Release the jaw, release the forehead. Soften the eyes. Feel like your eyes are falling back into the sockets. Feel the back of the head touching the floor. Feel the weight of the legs on the chair. And let go. We'll bring our awareness back to the breath. And slowly, without engaging too many muscles in the hips, just roll over to the side and hug your knees into your chest. And then we'll slowly press up to a seated position. Go ahead and sit up for a moment. Notice if there's a change. There's an ease towards sitting. I'd like you to check yourself through the rest of the day and notice how the back feels. The back should feel long and spacious. There should be less compression. Same thing in the hips, same thing in the knees. Lots of space. Moving the hands to the heart. Just take a moment of gratitude for something, for someone in your life. Namaste.